every day is.
I know, right? Every day is a day. Hey, y'all, what's up?
What's up, y'all?
Another live. Today is Thursday. So we are recording this on Thursday because I will be in town tomorrow. So we will be premiering. So when y'all see this, y'all see it in real time at 8 p.m. like we normally been going on live. But today's Thursday.
Yes.
And I will be leaving town tomorrow morning. So it's my birthday. It's my birthday. I'm super excited. Y'all know last week I'm turning 35. So I decided to take myself on a vacation, but a solo vacation because your girl needed. So I will be spending my birthday in Atlanta, Georgia, you know, relaxing, getting some needed mommy time. And yeah, that's kind of when you turn 35, that's what happens.
Yeah.
You
want to chill.
You want to chill. You want to lay up. You know what I'm saying? Like when I turned 31, 32, like I was like out. I needed my friends to go out of town with me. I was out there just having fun, going to bars, drinking. But I feel like this one's a little different. Like I don't want to go to bars and drink anymore. I literally just want to enjoy eating food. Yeah. Eating food and like just sightseeing and like mingling with, you know, different people and meeting new people. Like I'm really on that frequency now. So
that's what's up.
Anyways, so today is gonna be a special topic because it is my birthday, as you know, and we are honoring the most powerful Black woman that I feel like existed on the planet Earth. And y'all know her. I mean, she's very well known. I don't think she gets talked about enough. What do you think?
I mean, I think it's just limited information. And then that's it. You know?
Yeah, I don't think they really want to honor her because, you know, when you start looking up to somebody that's powerful like her, Black women will be like, dang, you know, I got that capability too. So if y'all want to know who we talking about Harriet Tubman.
Yes.
So that's tonight's topic. So we want you to get comfortable and let's join the conversation. Yes. So Harriet Tubman, y'all know about her. Do you have any information on her? Like, what do you want to talk about with Harriet Tubman? Because again, I said she's a powerful Black woman, but she's doing more like than just being powerful. Like she's actually, you know, making a statement for us. It's like she's been showing up more and more around these times.
I think that, and partly is because I feel like the ancestors, like they're still with us, you know, they're guiding us. I feel like they're what helped us raise the vibration, you know, like their work wasn't done, you know, and then it's like passing the torch to us. Yeah. But yeah, so she actually has, if you're in Cincinnati, she actually has a new statue that just unveiled Monday this week, and it's called Beacon of Hope. Yeah. And it's at the Underground Railroad Freedom Center. Yes. And it will be on display through April. So I think that's really dope. Like just, you know, the way that, I mean, she may not get the recognition, but like, you know, there's still people out there that are trying to like spread the knowledge and you know, keep the energy alive. Yeah. She also, the Freedom Center was also a part of designing. She has new coins out. Oh, really? Commemorative coins. So each coin,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a different denomination. Okay. And each one represents like a different era in her life. So I think that's really dope.
Yeah, that is.
And then the fact that, like, you know,
Cincinnati, we drinking tea tonight. We're drinking tea tonight, no wine. But
but Cincinnati, like, you know, we got a lot of dope stuff. Like, you know, we got the Black Music Hall of Fame, like, you know.
I went there the other day with my children, and that is so. All right, I went there before, and I went there by myself. But it's different when, like, you can show your children, like, you know, just that era, like when the music felt good, like when you can like you enjoy music. It was about love. The vibration was high. You had some legends and trying to, you know, explaining those information to your children is beautiful, because they're like, Mom, we wish we had this music. My daughter always like, I wish I was back in the day.
No,
because y'all had all the really good music. It was like that feel good music. She was like, now it's just like da 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 da. Like, you can't understand nothing they're singing. So, but it felt good going there and just experiencing like what Black people really put out, like what type of energy we was on then. It's like everything's so demonic now, and it's like, let's just get back to that love frequency, that music that felt good. Even going back to the Freedom Center, you know, just honoring, you know, Black people that paved the way for us, like in music, you know, James Brown paved the way for us, like just like in slavery time, Harriet Tubman paved the way for us. So I just feel like we need to get back to like really recognizing our ancestors and really you know, just like putting them back on the pedestal. Like you said, the ancestors is within us, and it's like, let's start I wouldn't say conjuring up that spirit, but let's just start operating in that same frequency that they were on. Like they had a mission and they had a path and they conquered it. Now we ain't got no we don't have a direction, you know. So but anyway, so you was talking about the queen. So what about the queen?
So like I said, it's just each one represents like a different period in her life.
Right. Okay.
So, that's pretty
So
good.
you can go to the Freedom Center and collect the coins?
You can actually purchase them. I believe the Freedom Center and then the Harriet Tubman House in New York, I believe. Okay. You can buy them separately or in a set. And the set's like $836. It's a collector's item.
It is collector,
so, you know,
right? They always trying to find a way to make money.
But you know, I remember like a few years ago, she was supposed to be like on one of the bills or a quarter. It was something she was supposed to be on.
Girl, you know, they say something and they never come through. I'm sure that she was supposed to be
she might have been. I don't know, you know, but
So, but you guys know about Harriet Tubman. Like, I think I wanted to honor Harriet Tubman. This is like my birthday episode, and it segue into like our topic for tonight, which is prioritizing the mission. And I wanted to talk about like what Harriet Tubman stood for and why she's so near and dear to my heart. So, as y'all know, Harriet Tubman was born in March, so Pisces season, period. And she actually died on my birthday.
Wow.
Yeah, amazing, right? And so before I even knew this information as a child, reading about Harriet Tubman, you know, during those times they pushed slavery books and information on us when we were children, and I always resonated with her. I just resonated with her. Well, what they taught us in the school was she ran to freedom, and it was just her that escaped freedom. They never really told the full story. And then when the Harriet Tubman movie came out recently, maybe like 5 years ago, and they actually really painted a clear picture about Harriet Tubman, she actually freed over 70, well, I think it was more, but they say 70 slaves. And I think that's amazing, because I never knew that she felt like she needed to go back and free people. That she was set in stone that she wanted to free her people, and she wouldn't stop until she freed as many slaves as possible. This girl was on her mission. Like, she didn't let anything stop her. Even when they was telling her, it's dangerous, don't go down there. And they was telling her, like, you know, these people are never going to pass over the river because they look like slaves, and how she used her mind. And also she was doing a lot of channeling. So God was guiding her along the way to make sure that she was able to get to her mission. And it was like she was trusting like God. And I think that was near and dear to my heart, because it's like the power of trusting. But also it was like, this girl did not let nobody stop her. She literally was fighting. She was like, you know, I'm gonna keep moving. I don't care what nobody got to say about it. I just had deja vu. I felt like I just had this conversation. Sorry.
Wow.
It was crazy. And so I really respected Harriet Tubman when I found out she died on my birthday. It's like, wow, that's amazing. I feel like I always felt like I was a part of her, but I feel like I am that spirit. Like, I feel like she lives through me, because that was my thing. Like, I named my book Prioritizing the Mission. Before I even thought about Harriet Tubman, it was like, Harriet Tubman called herself Moses, like the Black Moses. And when I think about Moses, I go back to the Bible. When Moses was, he led the way. He split the water and was like, he was just a leader. And he was some people that followed. And he trusted God to lead him, right? Mm-hmm. And so when she called herself Moses, I was like, dang, she led the way. She went and she prioritized her mission so she could free her people. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, well, shoot, I feel like I'm prioritizing my mission and I'm moving forward so that I can free my people, you know? And I feel like that energy has allowed me to really pour a lot into my book, Prioritizing the Mission, because we have to prioritize the mission. I mean, what do you think? Like, that's one of the things I have like loved about Harriet Tubman and the story that she told. So I think she's a powerful Black woman to honor for this History Month. Yeah. I say Black Women History Month.
Black Women History Month, right. So this is our second week. We're gonna do our introduction. I know it's a little we almost went almost into the conversation, but I'm Mia, and
so we're gonna do an introduction, y'all. It's Thursday, so don't mind us. Listen,
I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little like a little lethargic, like feeling a little tired.
That's okay.
All week I've been like sleep. Like I feel like I'm about to come out of hibernation almost. Yeah. And it's like, let me get that last little sleep before like everything gets going. But like I was saying, I'm Mia. I'm just Tasha. In case you're new here.
I'm Tasha. Yes. So we that's how we do. We flow and we just jumping into the conversation. But if y'all don't know us, and y'all new to our channel or y'all new to Instagram or Facebook, we have these living room conversations literally every Friday at 8 p.m. And we have these discussions, tough conversations that people don't want to have, you know. And I think that it's a well needed conversation so that we can make our people aware. But we like to have fun. We like to have fun. So anyways, yes, I think I am going to talk about prioritizing the mission. So, and I think I'm going to edit this. But anyway, so prioritizing the mission for me is very important because I feel like, without a mission, you don't have a purpose. You don't have a purpose. And so I feel like when I had wrote my book, Prioritizing the Mission, I felt like I needed to, it was something near and dear in my heart, like going back to my story. So like, I think you guys heard me talk about it in previous lives and stuff that I have always prioritized other people. Right. And, I told myself that it was enough for that. Like, I didn't want to always prioritize people because I wasn't moving forward. Like, I had lived other people's dreams and I had been in relationships that I didn't want to be in, like unworthy relationships. And so it was like, I knew I had a path and purpose, and I always knew I had a gift. I just never prioritized it. Okay. And that's because, one, I didn't trust myself. Two, I was very vulnerable. Three, it was like, just trauma, I guess you want to say. And so when I got out of relationships and I really started to go into solitude to find who I was as an individual, I felt like, God called me for a mission. I had these spiritual gifts. I'm hearing these voices. I'm hearing different things I got to give. But also I feel like I'm led to do something for the masses. And I needed to lead the way. And it starts with me, even though it made me feel uncomfortable. Like, I have had at times, I, went through speech problems and, I didn't speak like the most elaborate, vocabulary. I'm from downtown and I feel like I don't speak this damn tongue. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, part of it isn't even our language to begin with.
And and half of the shit I don't even know how to pronounce, so I just skip right over it. You know what I'm saying? Like, some of the times it'd be like, all right, it's complicated for me because it's like me being down south. Like, I got a twang about me. It was like in my lineage or it's in my bloodline.
Yeah, facts.
So, so I never felt comfortable with really being that voice. And God was like, I think not.
Right.
What I mean?
It's funny how, like, I think that to even like let's say like you're waking up to your gifts, you know, maybe you always kind of felt like, man, I feel different, you know, I think different, or you know, from the people around me, but you didn't understand. So then it's like when you start waking up to your gifts, to your purpose, to what mission you have, you literally have to overcome certain things. So like maybe you have a fear of being seen. Maybe you don't like, you know, I didn't used to like the sound of my voice being recorded.
Yeah.
You know, like something as small as that can literally hold a person back because they're like, ooh, like I don't like this.
I think you got a nice voice.
But I used to hate it. But it was once I started becoming comfortable, and thank you for that. But like it was once I started becoming comfortable, like using my voice. A lot of us, you know, like that's like singing. People think you can't get better. Like if you practice, you actually can. A lot of it is knowing how to use it. And so when we're used to not using it, then we don't even really know what it sounds like. And so you have to like get comfortable with yourself. So even just getting into your mission, like I said, it's certain obstacles and it may look different for everybody, but it's like certain things that we have to overcome. It's like mastering yourself first, because how can you truly help someone if you need help yourself? Like you got to get you together, and it doesn't mean you have to be perfect, but there's just a certain level of work that has to be done in order for you to feel worthy, in order for you to feel like, you know, you're capable, and all these things. Like you have to, it's just certain work that has to be done.
I agree. And that was the thing. Like it was, are you willing to put in the work? I had to ask myself, am I willing to put in the work to get things done? And it was scary. It was scary. Like, okay, that's a lot of pressure, you know, because I feel like now that I'm obligated, even though I don't have to, but I felt like, you know, when God told you so much, and I don't want to keep feeling like I'm getting very gospel-y. Like,
no, but like it's like a conviction over you. I know what you mean. Like it's like your spirit is not at rest because you know your spirit is trying to evolve and stretch, you know, and it's like you're like self-sabotaging yourself. It's very convicting, especially if you just have a, you know, you can be religious or you can be spiritual, you know, either way. Like the energy behind religion is the spiritual energy.
It is,
you know. So it's like so it's like that is very, you know, it's like the father, like what I tell you to do,
it's like I'm gonna whoop your
you know, and your life will literally not go the way that you want it to go. Things will not go right because it's trying to align you like with the energy of what you're supposed to be doing.
And I felt like, dang, I gotta do this work. And so first work was like when I had Leah in 2020, it's like you gotta be a doula. You gotta give birth to babies. And I'm like, a doula, you know, because that's the last thing I was thinking about. Like I didn't think about being a doula, you know. It was just like once I freshly had my baby and I was looking at my baby and I was reminiscing about just the poor, like how the hospitals treated me my first pregnancy and going through that. It was just like, oh, I would want to save somebody's. It's like that energy came over me, like, and then I went into like doula training and I started doing the work. And then I quickly found out that it was like there's more. I used to talk to a girl, I'm not gonna say her name, but I used to always talk to her and I'm like, I'm more than a doula. Like I know that God gave me this experience, but I feel like there's more. And so then it was like it led me to Queen's Village. And then I was connected with all these beautiful Black women. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I got people around me that's going through the same thing. You know, we just looking for community. We all looking for healing for real. So it's like, all right, Queen's Village. And then Queen's Village led it to like being on a board. And then Mama Certified, where
like,
I'm
shout out to them. You know what's crazy? Because we literally, I seen my first Mama Certified billboard yesterday.
I seen it today.
Okay, I was in Walnut Hills.
Okay.
And yesterday I had went to it was like a panel or whatever for people just to express their opinion about JFS. So, you know, some people are clients, some people, you know, work for the system or have like affiliation with like, you know, maybe they're like a mental health professional or something like that. So it was interesting to hear different But yeah, so I saw it yesterday. But what's crazy is, last week we were talking about it, and even the importance of legacy, right?
Yes.
So last night, my daughter, which she was like the one, like, she's my fourth daughter, but it's like I was starting to awaken, but like with her, it was like the creativity energy, like really just feeling like bold. Like she made me feel like let me just try new things. And so her birthday is March 27th.
You talking about which one?
Amila.
I know. I already know you was talking about her. Because when she over here, I was like, bro, she remind me of Kendra so much, just bold.
Yeah. But like last night, she knocked on my door. She was like, Mommy, I have something for you. Which my kids, they're always like drawing me letters. Drawing me pictures, writing me letters, and I love that. And so she gave it to me, and I was reading, girl, she done drew a cute little girl. It looked like me because it was like kind of like the ponytail with the braids. And she had on a shirt that said Black Mama Certified.
Please.
Okay. And I was just like, it made me think of like that legacy. And I was like, wow, like this is the reason why what we're doing is so important. Yeah. Even if we feel like it's insignificant, even if the people around us try to put us down for our interests or be like, oh, you think you something because you da-da-da-da-da. Yeah. No, I'm something. Exactly. And you want me to believe that I'm not. But it's like, just as a mother, just as a Black mama, like, it felt so good. And I was just like, okay, then. And I had already thinking, like, we need shirts, for Mama Certified or whatever. Yeah. But it just made me feel so good.
It does. And that's that energy of, like, legacy, but it's also the energy of, like, when you're really focused on what you're supposed to do and you allow the Spirit of God to lead you, it'll literally open up the doors to like infinite opportunities. Yeah. And so going back to like Mama Certified, so it led me down that road. And then Mama Certified led me down to, so I'm doing the back end as being a doula. So I'm like, it's more, but it's like, I feel like, I can give birth, but like, am I really fighting for Black women? Like, I feel like I need to be a part of this. Like, I feel like I still got to pave a way of something. Like, it just don't stop here because somebody got a doula. Yeah. If you can have a doula and still be a victim to the system.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But let's tackle the system. Let's figure out why Black mothers are dying and why do we have to have a doula. Like, it's okay to have a doula, but why do we feel like we got a reason? Yeah, because at the end of the day, we had midwives, we had women. The community was doulas.
It's getting to the root.
Yeah, I wanted to get to the root. So so that led me down that road, and then I went to mortar school, and then I got into I felt like I was a natural teacher. Because if y'all watch the podcast, I'd be like, that's the teacher Tosha, because I'm always trying to drop some type of history, or I'm always, going off the deep road somewhere, you know what I mean? Yeah. But that was because I felt like I was a natural born teacher. And so I wanted to name my company Boss Life Global, because again, when I focused on myself, because everybody was in control of me, I wanted to be the boss of myself. Like, even in my relationships, with my children, setting boundaries, feeling like it's okay to just have mommy time, from just everybody in general. I wanted to not have people boss me around. So I'm like, because I had a voice and I wanted to be heard. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? Like, I'm the boss of my life. And that's before I named my company Boss Life Global. I'm like, I'd be like,
Yeah, one of my, it's ironic because, like, I feel that same energy. Like, one of my homies, before, like, I wrote my book, just the process of leading up to that, those few years. And when I would cry home complaining about my baby daddy, and I'd say, he'd be like, boss up or be bossed around. Like, he used to say that so much. And when I was in nursing school, I had an anatomy teacher that used to say, he was like, if I say something over and over, he was like, that means that's important information. And, when you hear something over and over, like, you form a memory of it. And so I started noticing, like, oh, the stuff that he's saying all the time, those are on the exams, and so it made me, like, when I think of my friend, I'm like, when you're facing exams in your life, like, that was one of the things that come of, like, boss up or be bossed around.
Yeah.
You know, because I would get tired. So when you think that, like, if you're in a situation that's making you feel powerless and little, and then you think of that, it's like, yeah, like,
right.
I'm about to get it. Like, you know, it motivates you. And I think that's one, like, big thing. Being on your path, being in your mission, you have to learn how to motivate yourself. You have to know how to start, like self-start.
Yep.
You know, you have to know how to empower yourself, encourage yourself, be your own inspiration.
Yep.
You know, because one, everybody around you might not get it. Like, even like Harriet Tubman, you know, and some people might hear 70 and be like, oh, that ain't nothing.
No, she made 70 trips, I believe.
Oh, 70 trips.
Yeah. Okay. Let me check my notes. Okay. I want to make sure.
But
she made 13 missions.
Okay.
13 mission, but she 70 people. But that's a lot of people.
But you know, there's some haters somewhere like, oh, that ain't nothing. Yeah. You know, but it's like, what have you done though? You know? But 70, I mean, the fact that she was risking her life.
Yes.
Like, risking her life. And that is the part, like, what are you willing to put on the line? Like, it's like any means necessary. Like, just like us, like, we're doing this, we made a commitment, and we're still, you know, trying
tonight was a little shaky, and we felt, and I'm not gonna edit this because I want y'all to see that
but like,
we're perfect. I mean, we're not perfect, but it's okay because we still are able to still come through.
We're still showing up, and I think that's like important, you know, because you have to show up. Like, I'm tired. like I had earlier this week, I literally took a 7-hour nap, and I got up and I was like, man, I just want to go back to sleep. And I'm just like I, you know, and I'm like, when I got here, I was like, oh, my energy feel a little low, you know, like, not that I'm feeling sad. I just feel like my body is like resting right now, you know, and so I'm like, but you know what? We gonna make it work.
Make it work.
Like,
and I gotta get on the road at 7:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking to myself, like, shit, I'm tired. I done had a long day. I done ran around, and we gonna get it done. Yeah. And we gonna make sure that we showing up still, and we gonna, like, we couldn't do live, and we pre-recording, but we still have a commitment because we feel like we owe it to the people, like we owe it to ourselves,
and that's what I say, ourselves,
but and we owe it to you guys, because when I feel like some people, this might help somebody.
No, seriously. Even if it's just one person, I think that's another thing. Like, when you think about your mission, it's like, it doesn't have to be grand where it's millions of people. You know, like, it's not about that. It's about just touching, even if it's just one person.
Yeah.
Like, who knows who that one person can touch, you know, and then, you know, that one person might touch 2 people.
Exactly.
You know,
like, you're passing up a time.
Right. Like, but you have to take, like, your ego out of it and just be open to, like, what happens.
Exactly. I definitely agree with that, because I feel like, it's so funny. I would talk to you after camera that you said it, because it's just like something different, whatever. But anyways, but I do agree with you, because, like, I have people coming into my inbox all the time talking about how much, like, this helped them. They think we're funny. They think, like, we spitting facts, and, you know, it's a lot of people that want to be a part of this, you know, because it's not a lot of podcasts, like I said, that's out here really encouraging the people to, like, walk in their path, you know, their purpose. What's your mission, you know, and we're doing that.
Yeah.
And I think it's huge.
That's what's cool to me. Honestly, like, the more that I evolve and grow and just, you know, walk into, like, who I'm meant to be, like, I honestly don't want to be around people that's not in their purpose. Like, it's because a distraction.
It is. Oh my goodness.
It's such a distraction. Their energy, you can feel their energy. Their energy be off.
Yes.
A lot of times they have so much drama and chaos in their world, and then they try to bring it to you. Yeah. You know,
and it rubs off.
And it does. And, you know, then it's like, it just, I just be cool. Like, because I'm already a loner, so I'm like, I don't care about having people around me. But I think that was because I didn't have positive people around me growing up, you know, and I was a loner, but it was like, I just never felt like I fit in. Yeah. And so I had to be comfortable just being my own friend,
Excuse
but
me. And it's powerful when you become your own friend, because you realize like you don't need anyone to make you happy. You make you happy.
I'm a sovereign being. Like I don't, I'm whole and complete by myself.
Yeah, same. I had to get like that because it took me time. I wanted to be accepted so bad. Like I've always been like an introvert, extrovert type of person, but I felt like I knew I was different, but I felt like I needed to dim my light so much for other people that I became other people's puppets. I guess I would say I was. Don't get me wrong, never been like a puppet, but I feel like it was a puppet to me because I wasn't living in my authentic self. Like I wasn't operating in my truth.
It's funny as after I said that, some spirit dropped in me and told me to sage, and that's crazy. And I'm like, maybe after I said that, maybe somebody needs to clear the energy away from them. Like, because it was like after I said that about being around negative people and stuff like that, it was like sage. Like I literally just dropped it like sage.
But we always have to do that. We always gotta clear the energy.
So this is for anybody watching.
Yes.
I send you love and I send you peace, and I wish that for you, anybody in your life that does not mean you any good, that you need to be separated from, I'm just sending you protective energy and clearing your space, baby.
Period. And we're bringing in all the positive energy, like.
Because I'm like, listen, these people out here, if your light is big and you have like a purpose, we all have a purpose, but if you're tapped into that, and even when you're not, things will still come in your life to wake you up to who you are.
Yes.
But like, it be like spiritual demons out here, and you have to use your discernment. Like you have to use your discernment. Pray for your discernment to be developed, because discernment is not just something that we automatically have. Like we have a internal discernment, just like the animals. But look, don't sometimes they get hit because they in the street when they shouldn't be.
Exactly.
And it's I'm sorry. My mom killed a rabbit on the way to church.
Lord. I took the dog on accident and I cried my eyes out.
Listen, I was so sad. And do you know what she said? Peter Rabbit shouldn't have been in the street.
No,
I was so hurt.
I will never forget. We're going off topic, but I never forget. I was staying in this complex. It was a townhouse complex, and it used to be a whole bunch of kids, like right on this corner. And I'm coming from work, so like it's like a blind spot when you hitting like that right hand turn, because it's like a building sitting right there. This dog comes jetting out, literally, it's like suicide, like in front of my car. It was my neighbor's dog. Girl, I hit that corner and the dog come jetting out, and I ran the damn dog over, and the dog died. I cried so bad. My baby daddy come outside like, he like, what you crying for? It's just a dog. Like, he was like, I'm gonna get a trash bag, like wrap it up and put it in the dumpster.
Somebody
would be pissed off. Heartless. Like I felt that in my spirit. It's like that animal was me. Like I felt like I just killed a human being. Like I felt so bad, and it was my neighbor's dog too.
Right. It's like how do I face you? I need to move.
It ain't funny.
But
the kids was crying. I felt like they used to give me the side eye every time I came home. Like I literally felt that for 2 years. I felt like I was a dog killer. Like when you like feel energy, like, but I felt like the dog just wanted to commit. Like, why would you like run in front of my street? It's like crazy, and then I had to hit you. Like I was so mad. But anyway, so going back to that, I don't know how to fucking get on that topic,
but it's about using your discernment. Like I said, because when you're so like sometimes when we're not using our discernment, we intentionally put ourselves in harm's way.
I definitely agree with that. It's like don't kill yourself, right? Like literally, like don't kill yourself. If sometimes people can kill your spirit, they can kill you physically too. Like if you aren't careful,
right? Physically,
like
So and that's not so I don't feel like that's off topic. Like that was a part of this conversation.
For
Somebody
sure.
might needed that little nugget, you know, but you
Seriously.
gotta be careful. Like, yes, we're covered and protected, but you know, we still have to use our logic, our discernment. You know,
that goes back to that intuition, like trusting your gut.
Yeah.
And going back to the womb, making sure that you are doing everything you need to do so that you can use that discernment and intuition, you know. But the mission is the purpose.
Yeah.
Like without having a mission, you don't have a purpose.
Right.
And when you don't have a purpose, then you know what, you don't have anything in life. You know what I'm saying? You're just walking out here just like a zombie.
It's like aimlessly. Yeah. And yeah, so
and some people, and it's not just about going into entrepreneurship.
No,
like having a purpose.
all.
Having a purpose is like going to like something that feels right, that resonates.
It could also be just on a level of just the energy you put out. Like every day, the life that you live is a part of your purpose. How are you serving your children? How are you, you know, serving your family? You know, how are you showing up to your job? What energy are you giving people?
Are you having a purpose to live?
Right.
Know? Like do you look forward to like your you know, the future, and like your legacy, like have a driven purpose to keep breathing every day.
Right. You know, some people they might be just inspiration as far as like every time somebody see them, they're smiling. You know, and that could brighten that person's day.
Exactly.
You know, like it doesn't have to be so difficult. You know, I know that on a grand scheme, like it is deep. Like we do have a life purpose and a mission, you know, but on just a simple level, it's like, what type of person are you to the people you're around?
Exactly.
You know, how are you loving on people? How are you showing up? You know, and it's as simple as that, you know. So yeah.
I totally agree. And going back to like why I made my ebook, it's because I felt like people needed to hear that. But then some people don't know how to, like, they don't know the information. Like they don't know having a purpose means having a healthy mind too. And some people don't know how to get to that point where they're driven, you know, because environment, you know, you're around undriven people, you're not going to be driven, right? And so some people don't know how to tap in. So when I had made prioritizing the mission, I made sure in my ebook I broke those things down. The power of the mind, how the mind operate, how to eliminate tabs, you know, so that you can not slow down your brain process or your thought process. You know, it's just like a regular computer, literally. I talk about that in my book. I talk about the power of meditation. I talk about, even if you want to start a business, you know, how to find that purpose and that mission. And I talk about how most of the time it goes back to childhood, and really how to dig deep into, you know, really birthing that mission, or that, you know, getting you to the next level. And so I don't want to give you too much of what's in the ebook, but I really felt like I needed to talk about these things because some people can utilize it, can be very helpful. People don't know how to detox the body. Some people don't know how to detox the brain. Some people don't even understand how the anatomy of a human body works. And we talk about the environment that we place ourselves in. We're always like, being in a community is like a rat race. You're literally stuck in a jar, and you're constantly turning and recycling your life. So I talk about how to get out of the bubble, the jar, so that you can't go this way while everybody going this way, so that you can be focused on your mission, the breath, solitude, silence, you know, being in the presence of one, of you. And I felt like I was driven to put that out there. So it ain't out yet, but it will be out. I'll, you know, you go to my Facebook and I'll put the release date down. But I've worked on this for a very long time. And it's so funny because I used to just journal around the house, and I was writing the book 5 years ago, you know. And I have notebooks around my house, and literally I just write in random notebooks, whatever's the closest to me. I literally just write.
That's what I'm here too.
And so I just literally gather all the pieces out of the notebooks that was coming to me when I get thoughts in our channel or I like, ancestors come through, I'm writing it down, like, say this. So it took me a long time to really formulate it. And it was like, what do you want me to, like, what should I name it? And it was like prioritizing the mission. Because that's what Boss Life Global is about. Boss Life Global is being a boss of your life, being obedient to serving self. You know what I mean? Let's start firing the boss that's around us, make it a lifestyle, and do it globally and do it worldwide. So that's why it's called Boss Life Global. It's like you can secure the bag and get to the money and live an abundant, prosperous, whatever. Prosperous. Yeah, prosperous. That's the fuck word I'm looking for. You can live that type of life if you focus on what you need to do. And some people don't focus on those things. Like when one of my friends called me, he be like, Boss Life. He called me that. Why? It's because it's like, that's a movement. I want to be known for being a boss of my reality, you know? And this is what it's about. We are showing people how to be that, how to become bosses, how to be obedient to themselves. And so that is the reason why I have Boss Life Global. And that is the reason why I made a book prioritizing the mission. It's a fucking movement, man.
Yeah, for real. Like, it's like, it's go back to like the statues, like being a beacon of hope.
Yes.
A lot of people, this society doesn't like promote or like doesn't promote like healthy living and just a good mental health and all that. And like when you're like living the life that you're supposed to live and you're prioritizing your mission, like you literally become a beacon of hope to other people, and you never know who's watching you, but a lot of times it starts with the people around you.
It does.
It starts with the people around you. And like even like just these last couple of years of just me doing different things, and like I'm seeing with my family, like they're getting more creative.
Yes.
They're
it's like
tapping.
You are leading the way. You're
Seriously.
Moses. You're like
and when you was talking earlier, I was hearing that song, something lead the way.
Yeah.
And I think it's about Takeoff. I don't know. I don't really listen to rap like that, which is funny that it even dropped in. But like Takeoff is like, ooh, take off. Like,
see, look, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Takeoff got killed.
Right,
so
exactly.
It's like he's channeling through you.
Yeah.
And
it was in Texas, which is the Lone Star. Like, the stars is like a sign of beacon of hope,
And her statue have a star.
Right. And we were just talking about like, being a loner, and it's like the Lone Star, like, and you have to stand alone to shine bright sometimes.
Yes,
like,
do.
Whew.
Come on through. Seriously, like, and I feel like this episode, I liked this episode just because I feel like it's going to help a lot of people understand why it's so important to really tap in and like start channeling our ancestors, like start like really living up to
their the standard. Like they set a standard so high. Like sometimes I wish, like, man, like sometimes like I wish I was born in like the 40s, 50s and stuff like that. Because it's like, even though the stuff that we went through was so traumatic, like when you look at our people, like they had so much grace, they had so much poise.
Yes, they had hope.
They did,
and they were on their mission to make sure, because they didn't just think about themselves.
They had to fight, like they had that warrior energy. And sometimes I look at the world today, and I'm just like, how many of our ancestors are just rolling in their grave, like thinking about, like, it's like we fought so hard to stay alive, and now we have like all our kids killing each other, and it's just it's so sad. And it's like the work, so the people that are doing the work, it's almost like we have to fight even harder against the darkness and against the lower vibrations that are trying to like take us back even further and kind of undo all the work that has been done.
Be quiet. Please. Thank you. Sorry. She done made these up. But no, seriously, I feel like Aaliyah.
Mommy, shut the refrigerator.
Shut the refrigerator? Okay, thank you for telling me. I'll shut it, okay? I didn't hear you. I didn't know that's what you were saying. It's okay. It can stay open, okay?
Okay.
See you later. I'll be upstairs. All right. She was sitting here until she could tell me to shut the refrigerator. She's so funny. No, but I feel exactly what you're saying. Like, I feel like our ancestors will be disappointed, but I also feel like only few is called, you know,
many is called, few is chosen.
Many is called,
Yeah.
few is chosen.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is a real thing. And it's
Yeah.
okay
Yeah.
that, you know, some people aren't waking up to
Mhm.
what's really going on and like leading away. But, you know, it's a duality, you know,
Yeah.
as evil as it is,
Mhm.
as good as it is.
Yeah.
And it's got to be a balance.
Yeah.
And so I feel like, yeah, they're rolling over in their grave, but imagine, like, it's so many Black
Mhm.
people, women rising up now. They're probably smiling at the work that we're actually doing. You know, they can't look back
Right.
there to see
Right.
the things that people aren't doing
Right.
because they're not representing them. Like,
Yeah.
but for the ones, they see us, they
Mhm.
know, and that is the reason why we're so blessed.
Yeah.
That's why God has been opening up the doors. That's why the ancestors is
Yeah.
always
It's like they channeling the energy through us. Yeah.
But then they're leading the way and opening up doors for us
Mhm.
because we are the voice now moving forward. You know, it's a lot, like, you know how masters teachers pass the baton, like you got Dr. Valentine, you got Dick Gregory, you have a lot of these spiritual teachers that have had voices.
Dr. Savy,
this legends, you know, Dr. Africa, you know, but now it's like we are the new elders.
We're gonna be the future ancestors.
We are the future ancestors.
We are aunts and uncles.
That's we.
No, seriously.
No, seriously. We are auntie and uncle stage. But we are now the new face to what leadership looks like. It might not look like how it was back in the day because they had to fight a bigger battle. It's like now everything is starting to come full circle. It's like now we need to put our new leaders out there so that we can really be the change, because the system gotta fall. And I feel like if we keep pushing forward and staying in our mission, girl, stop. Our mission and our path, I feel like we can definitely change a lot of things in our reality. Aaliyah, be quiet. I'm gonna kick her butt. But yeah, so I think that we are doing a great job at what we're doing. So,
especially navigating something that we've never done before. Like I remind myself like that the people of my generation, they haven't done this, but I think that's also too important to like find out our history. Like our history wasn't just being slaves. Like the history from your family. Like my aunt, I told her, I'm like, you should be a historian.
yeah,
Like she's been a nurse for like 5 years or so, but I'm like, she loves history.
Yeah,
like she has dug up our whole family tree.
Really?
Like
wow.
In my family, there was women. We had some bosses in our family, and it makes sense why I'm a woman that's so strong and so like, you know, just like let me do it my way. Let me fix it, because like we've had women in like Kentucky. We had a lot of family in Kentucky. One of our family members, she was like the first Black professor.
Oh wow!
At like NKU or something.
Wow.
It was one of the Kentucky universities. Another one of our ancestors, she owned a whole street of houses.
Wow!
And each one of her family members lived in the house.
Period. Come on.
You feel
That's
me?
how I want
That's
to
communal living. But like, she owned the whole street.
Wow.
You know, and this is back in the 1800s. Like, that's stuff that's like, that they was killing people for stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just like our history, like I said,
it's whitewashed. I don't feel like, see, they don't talk about a lot of those things because it's like, women were doing it. Like we had boss women in our family, but I feel like our family lost touch of, you know, just our family history. A lot of us, you know, some majority of the Black family don't really know past the fourth generation. They
Yeah.
don't know anything outside of that. But also, I feel like they did a poor job with really telling our story.
Mhm.
They told our story
Because-
in a very traumatic,
Yeah.
painful way versus
Yeah.
really talk about how much influence we had
Mhm.
even on the white community.
Mhm.
You know, we influenced a lot. You know, they learned a lot of what they know from us.
Yeah.
You know, and so
And hearing you say that, because it just made me think about something like about the stories that's past. That's why history, you know, finding out your own history,
Mhm.
looking into history is so important, because it just made me think like growing up, you know, we had family members that were products of the slave and
Yes.
the master. And we actually have pictures, and you know, and the people in our family, we have some people, the older generations, some of them have passed away, but they were very, very light, you know, very light, you know, very fair skin, very like, you know, just that type of hair where it's like, you know, you know that they mixed with something,
yeah,
you know, and coming from that time period, you know, it's like a lot of like our ancestors passed as white people because
Yes.
of how fair
fair
their
skin.
skin was.
Yeah.
And so I have ancestors, blue eyes and all type of stuff. But like growing up, it was just, I remember hearing about all of that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Like how, you know, how one of my great grandmothers was raped by her master and produced children. You know, it's like, but nobody want to talk about it. But it's like the elephant in the room. Like, how can you ignore the elephant in the room? You know, but at the same time, the positive things, like, you know, like the professor, like the one who owned all these houses, it was like those are things that get quiet and nobody's speaking
but
of.
Why? You know,
right? And it's like, because I think, I don't know, part of it's like being trained to focus on the negative, you know. But then it's like the things that you avoid, you can't even avoid them when you try to, you know. So it's like if people maybe had released shame and you know, just been like, okay, this is what happened, you know, but this isn't our whole story. Like, this was just, but I think the pain be so deep that, you know, it's like, I mean, imagine being a woman, somebody owning you, beating you, raping you, you know, impregnating you, you know, like that is traumatic.
It is.
You know, and so I think that, you know, we didn't know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
But then that's the thing that like moves forward. That type of energy is what attracts generation after generation of being in abusive relationships, of being in toxic relationships, because that root was never addressed, you know, because the victim is shamed, which is crazy. You know, it's like you're the victim and you're walking around with all the shame like you did something wrong.
Right.
You know, and so I think it's really important, like, just remembering like where we come from. And if you don't know, like, we got to find out.
We have to find out.
Like, we have to find out, you know, because I know there's certain people, you know, maybe they just feel like they've come from generations of poverty. And it's like, no, you're way bigger, way greater than that. You know, and that was like one of the barriers that you probably got to overcome is releasing yourself of a poverty mindset, you know, to get into your mission, because you have to believe that there's room for you, that you're going to be supported, you know, that you can make enough money to live a comfortable life. Like, there's so many things that you have to release, you know, if that's like a background that you came from, just to be like, you know, this is capable for me to do.
And here's the thing, when you was talking and when you were saying that, it's just like we need to start holding our elders accountable for a lot of these things, you know, sweeping it under the rug. Because I feel like when I said we don't know, you know, our other ancestors after the fourth generation, it's like they don't want to talk about nothing. And I think it was because they've been molested or they've been abused and stuff, and they really don't want to bring up that
because they haven't healed from
but
it.
Also, it's not pushing my family forward. It's not pushing your family forward. We need to know these things.
And
it does. And then we become antisocial. We don't really want to dig up the past, or we really don't want to meet new cousins, or deal with people that hurt us, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like our elders, like, you stop. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You know, you ain't
No,
nobody to talk
seriously.
about, or you know, it's neither here or there. We're gonna just keep it moving. And it's like, no, we need to know these things. We need to know, because it's gonna go back to discovering that you had an aunt that had 18 houses.
And then what about the next generation? Like, I kid you not, like, I just turned 38 a couple weeks ago. Last year, the end of last year, being a 37-year-old woman, I just met cousins that live in the city as me, that have been in the city their whole life. I was 37.
And why? And is it because your mother or someone in your family that never, they want to be like, oh, that's just they over there. That family, they always used to say
I had an uncle who was the chain breaker.
Okay.
And he didn't resonate, you know, and when a lot of times when our family, when they don't resonate with us, and it's a shock to us, see, us standing in our light and our truth can be an irritation for other people, not because they're mad we're doing it, but it can stir up some things in them. It can stir up what they're not doing. It can stir up the things they ain't healed from, all that, right? And so with him awakening and, you know, all this Black empowerment stuff, they're like, you know, and so he was like, my mission is more important than this family, you know, and so I'm going about my way. And so he was, you know, separated from our family for a long time. And he really still is. I have relatives that haven't seen him in years, you know, but I'm just now getting to meet him. And I was 37, and I'm just like, as soon as we sat down to talk, we were talking. He was like, I want y'all to see something, right? He put on Yaki Awaken. And I was just like, what you know about this? Like, my uncle is like 80 something.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. If he ain't 80, he almost 80. But like, you know, I would never, but then it's like when you look at him, it's like, yeah, that's the vibration he on. You know, and so he was talking to me about people from our generation. And that's another reason why our mission is important, because it's like he is at the end of his life and he's being inspired by people of our generation.
Yeah, because our generation is special.
Yeah.
I feel like our generation, we're just fearless.
It's like
we're, like you said, warrior energy. Like, I feel like we're so fearless, and we're not afraid of anything. Like, we ready for war.
I think a part of that is like, because I mean, we came from a period of no internet to internet. Like,
and we was exposed to a lot of things.
Our generation, there was a lot of changes. You know, we went from the 99 to the 2000.
And 2000 was the Y2K.
And they're like, oh, the world's gonna shut down, and we didn't see.
But they introduced the technology to us in the early 2000s, which is like just beginning, right? Yeah. And then we go into the early 2000s, and then we start millennials shifting without having no cell phone. Right. So getting introduced to the big Macintosh, colorful
everything. Remember the dial-up internet where you have to go and connect to one of the numbers? Like,
we still remember the landlines. I remember
the rotary phone. My grandma used to have. I used to love sticking my finger in them little holes.
And then they had to play phones like that, you know. And we went from that generation.
It's like we're the best. Like, we're the best of the old school
and the new school, because we adapted to so many changes. And then again, we're adapting. In 2020, we went into another era. It's like each year we were born, we were going into different eras, right? Or, you know, whatever. Transitions. Yeah. And it's so funny because we are the strongest out of, like, the Gen X is losing their crap. Seriously, they don't know how to adapt to anything no more. It's like they are babyfied. Like, they want everything handed to them. And then you got the older generation that's stuck in their ways. Like, they don't want to evolve. They felt like they don't want to talk about the past. They talk about go to school. They'd rather go work a 9-to-5 job. They're okay with that. They looking at millennials. We're quitting our jobs. Right. You know, we are becoming leaders. They looking at us like, oh, y'all you crazy. Like, you need a retirement plan. But they don't understand that we're not in that era anymore. Like, we're shifting. We're in a world that you can get famous off of just being on TikTok. You know, you can make money off of just doing dumb stuff, you know. And I feel like we came from an era where we can find that balance, because it's like, we remember not having, so we can easily disattach from the internet, you know, because we never had cell phones for a very long time. And we're able to still reconnect if we want to because we have a balance. So anyways, I feel like the millennials is different, and I feel like we're gonna be the new leaders. I feel like that we were built to become leaders. I feel like our generation. So yeah.
So closing this out, what are some ways, just, you know, if anybody's watching this and they want to get on their mission, what are some things that you think they can do to prioritize their mission? Maybe they know they have an inkling, but what are some things you think they can do to like start prioritizing their mission outside of like the things you gave, you know, about your book, like meditation? Like what other ways do you feel like a person can prioritize their mission?
I'm gonna keep saying this: prioritizing themselves.
Yeah,
like nothing happens. You know, you can't prioritize your children, your home, your job, if you're not prioritizing yourself. You come first because it starts with you.
Yeah.
So that's my main thing. It's like really focusing on your wants and your needs and catering to that.
Yeah. So like listening to your body.
Yeah. Self-love.
You know, if you need a break, I think a lot of times people think they have to give all of themselves. Like you have to make sure you're pouring back into you. You want to give from a full cup. You know, not a cup that just got a little bit in it, because you may be thirsty. You may need that little sip, you know. So yeah.
So, and one of the main things too is I say boundaries. That's number one to me, because if you're not setting boundaries, then your life isn't going to be. It's not going to be the way you want it to be, because you don't have boundaries over your life. And that comes with your children. Like I tell my children, I need a break. It's okay to take 10-15 minutes away from your children just to get a break. I tell my kids, this is mommy time.
Yeah, quiet time.
Yes.
Yes.
I tell my kids, like, don't come in my room between this time and this time. It's mommy time. And if you violate those, I don't want to say it like that, but if you know what I'm saying, if you cross those boundaries, you will feel the consequences behind it, because I'm entitled to this time, you know. And so when I start to prioritize my time and I start to focus on setting boundaries for my mom, my brother, relationships, I felt like I found a lot of me. I was able to now focus on, okay, I have a clear mind. Now I can start pouring back into my cup. Now I can focus on self-love, you know, looking in the mirror, realizing that my toes haven't been done in over a month, you know, because now I'm focused. I'm realizing that, dang, I haven't ate healthy.
Right.
You know, my diet is terrible. You know, I need to figure out what I need to do so that I can get my diet back together. And so I feel like that's prioritizing yourself of boundaries is kind of
saying
like
no.
Yes.
Learning how to say no. Like I used to be so uncomfortable saying no. And now I don't mind at all, like, because I'm not able to do that. You know, like I'm no, I can't. No, you know, like,
and it's okay. And
it is.
And like, also, I feel like not only saying no, but being okay with not having people around you, like friends and family.
Being okay, not being invited, not considered.
Because I felt like I didn't say no a lot. I was gonna lose people. I wanted to have friends. I wanted to have family members, because I'm like, well, if I say no, they gonna get an attitude.
Maintaining toxic connections. That's what it be like. You know, and we, like you said, you have that fear of that. But once you become like comfortable just in yourself, in your own energy, it's like
it would change your whole universe.
Listen, it absolutely does. Like you become everything. You become like the center, you know, and so everything kind of revolves around you, like not in an entitlement sense, but like you start attracting, you know, and then you become like the judge and the jury, almost. Like,
I agree. And so I felt like when I did that, I fired everybody around me. That was bossing my life around, and I started prioritizing myself. I was able to walk in my mission because I had a clear path. My mind was focused. I was able to start doing things that I enjoy doing. I was, you know, start back listening to music that I enjoy listening to.
I'm having intrusive thoughts right now. Because you said, Dag, what you said something. You said my mind.
Yeah.
And at the same time, my mind is like what to say something.
Yeah.
And then when you said music, and I'm like, like
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, like a little kid that just can't say this.
Yeah.
Nicki
It's like
Minaj, that part of her song where she was like, what she say, did she say I am the CEO, I get what I desire, or something like that? Hold on. Guess I call the shots. I am the umpire. It's like she's talking about
I know what you're talking about. I just
but
said
I fired Dag. My brain literally was like, what the like?
Yeah.
Hey. And it's like,
me and her musical mind, y'all.
I am CEO. I get what I desire. And yes, I call the shots. I am the
Umpire.
umpire. Yeah, so like that. Yeah, but like, oh my gosh. But that's what came to me. And so like music, you know, that's one way that I feel like my angels and spirits speak to me.
Same.
But yeah, so that you can fire whoever you want. Like,
you can.
You know, now
and build an empire. You know
right,
what I'm saying?
And some people, you know, they have to be fired and put on the list that they can't come back.
They do.
You know, and then there's sometimes where I feel like it's a misalignment, you know, and sometimes, you know, it's like, okay, maybe you go work on yourself, you know, like American Idol, like, not yet.
Yes,
not yet. Come back when you ready.
Come back. Like, you might have a beautiful voice, but you haven't discovered yourself yet. Yeah. And when you are expressing yourself, it shows, you know, people can pick up on their energy. Like, I feel like everybody have room to grow. I definitely have room to grow.
We all do.
But I feel like, you know, it's okay to go back and start over and reevaluate, you know, some flaws. And you work on those things, and it's okay. You know, we're not going to show up in a world perfect.
I was supposed to say, you don't have to be perfect. I think you just have to have good intentions. Yeah. You have to have a lot of love in your heart. And I think that you definitely have to have a mind and a heart to serve. You know, I think that's a big part of like being on a mission. Like, what are you doing this for? Yes. You know, because if you're just doing it to serve your ego and make yourself feel important,
a lot of people do that. Unfortunately, that's why the world is the way it is, because everybody is serving their ego, and that's why the destruction, like a lot of chaos is happening because people want to be in competition with other people. People want to say, "Oh, I was the first to do it. I was this," and you know, it's that stroking of the ego.
Which really, you know, I mean, some people are the first, but if you go back, like, there's probably somebody that's done it. You know, it's like because the energy, you know, there has to be the same energy comes
recycled.
So
the energy is always recycled. You know, and so I think we need to understand that. And so being on a mission is really focusing on your wants, needs, and desires. That's it. And then you can birth whatever you want to birth, you know?
Yeah. So getting around people that are even on it, like me and you, like we have two separate missions, but they intertwine.
It does.
You know, and so it's important to put yourself out there so that you can connect. Because had I not applied for Queens Village board,
we would have never knew each other.
Literally. And even when we were, you know, for the last 2 years, like we've been on the board for all that time, and we never was like, and then out of nowhere, it's like, okay, it's time.
It's like they pushed us forward, and it was like, all right,
it happened so like organically, you know, so
and then we just was like, we just gonna have to show up, you know. And it's different getting on here because I talk all the time, you know. Again, we was talking about how the living room conversation even came about. We have conversations like this all the time, right? But I felt like, you know, the people need to hear this. You know, we can discuss everything in the living room and it never gets out there. And we be talking about some deep shit. You know, a lot of people be in their living room talking about some deep stuff, you know, whether it's good or bad. But it's like, somebody pick up a camera. Somebody needs to hear these conversations. And so it was so beautiful when we was like, the living room conversation, you know, let's be authentic. Let's show up in the living room, and we ain't gonna make this. Even though my man, like, I want to do this or that, you know, like, but it's like, no, this is how it's gonna go. This is how it's gonna look, and be okay with that, you know. And so, again, it's still taking me
because we're mothers, and you know, even like how baby girl be popping in and out. Like, there's somebody, but there's somebody who's maybe feel like their kids holding them back.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, I can't do this. I like, you know, of course we don't want her in the video, but you know, it's like it is what it is, and we still have to stay focused.
People appreciate that because they see the imperfections.
Mm-hmm.
People see the imperfections in me, you.
Yeah.
You know,
and some people might edit that part out, but what if we edit that part out and miss a important part that was, you know, being said at that time?
And then also people like, you know, they're not perfect. I can do this. You know, I can pop a camera, you know, and say anything that's on my mind. Somebody's gonna listen, you know, and they're not afraid to do it, you know, and it might help somebody, you know. We got on here and we were just like, oh shit, you know, our energy was down in the beginning, you know, we were trying to find, and you don't understand when we prepare these shows, sometimes, you know, we just like let it flow, you know, and sometimes we might go off topic, and sometimes, you know, we might say some things, you know, that
divinely got crazy. Off topic.
Yeah, exactly. But we understand that it's just part of just the mission. It's part of just showing up. It's part of because we look back at these things and we look at how we can grow as individuals and just as, you know, creators. And
we're doing it.
We're doing it. Yeah,
we're doing it.
I'm excited. So we're gonna end it here. I have to get off because I gotta wake up early in the rising.
My kids don't have school tomorrow, so I'm like, I feel good. I don't have to wake up at 5:00, 5:30. But yeah,
I gotta get on the road. So early in the rising, and I'm super excited because I am celebrating my birthday this weekend.
Well, happy early birthday!
Thank you. And it's so funny, real quick. So the event that I'm going to on can't talk. On Saturday, it's called Celebrate Your Life.
Okay.
And I think it's the new moon. Today's the 7th, right?
Yeah.
So the new moon starts tonight.
Okay.
And so I feel like bringing in that new energy, like when you think of the new moon, you think about setting intentions. And I feel like my intentions moving into the year of, you know, being a 35-year-old now is celebrating my life. You know, we forget to celebrate ourselves. I know personally, I forget to celebrate the things that I've accomplished when it comes to Mama Certified, when it comes to like my business and us doing a podcast. You know, we just get off the camera and we go about our day-to-day life, but we really don't take the time to celebrate ourselves because we're in it and we don't see
and
what
we're just like, let's move to the next thing, you know.
And so it's so funny that he named the party Celebrate Your Life.
Yeah, and it's funny, my grandmother, her birthday, like, because this is like, you know, she hadn't made it through everything she'd been through. Like, my mom wouldn't have been here. I wouldn't have been here. Her birthday is Saturday. She'll be 84.
Wow. See?
Yeah, so
that's what I'm
celebration of life. You know?
And Harriet told me, because she died on March 10th on my birthday, and it was like, I'm celebrating a legacy. I'm celebrating our ancestors that fought and paved the way for us to be here today, because they had a mission to really show up for us.
And it's just bigger than you. Like, my grandma, just, you know, the things that I was just over her house last week, and she's just like, I'm so proud of you. My grandma tell me all the time, like, girl, you gonna be driving a nice car, living in a nice house. Even though it ain't about that, but my grandma, she see the capacity.
She see the light.
Yeah, for sure.
And she feel like, you know, when grandparents or the elders see that one grandchild or that, you know, relative, they cling to them because they want to stay looking for, they're scouting for the next leader. And they feel like when they see it, they're going to pour into you. Like my grandmother, she see the leadership in me. She calls me for advice. She calls to pour into me because she know that I am going to lead the way for the generation before. I mean, after. When I'm dead and gone.
Before too.
Before, exactly. And so celebrating my life, celebrating your life party is like perfect timing. It's like, I need this. And I didn't let anything stop me. You know, it could be intimidating, you know, doing something spontaneous like that and trusting that the ancestors are going to have you protected, you know, being a solo traveler. But I believe that the ancestors didn't lead me down here for no reason. And they, before I knew about this, they was just like, you need to go to Atlanta, Georgia. And I didn't know why they said Atlanta, Georgia. And they said Miami and Atlanta, Georgia. But it was like, kept pushing me to Atlanta, Georgia. And I didn't know why. And then when they popped, you know, they said, oh, we're doing this party called Celebrate Your Life. And it's on March 9th. I was just like, that's why. it's because the connection that I'm gonna make down there, but the frequency is gonna be so high. I'm celebrating Tasha. I'm getting a break. I'm setting boundaries, for myself, and I'm super excited to be able to, if nothing else, that's my mission. My mission is to be in the present, is to celebrate life. I don't have to have the biggest business. I don't have to be on the biggest platform. That's something I do dream of one day. That's part of my dream, and I'm pushing towards that mission. But again, I am also living in the presence of like
appreciating where you are,
where I'm at, and where I came from. Because I came a long way, and I got a story, and that I am showing up, and that God bless me to make it to 35. And have healthy children, and I can't complain. Like, if I do nothing else, I feel like I've lived a part of my mission. If I die tomorrow, I feel like I still accomplished something, in my life. And it's really not where you are now, it's where you start. And I started. Right. And I feel like that's conquering your mission. Because you start. Right. That's it. It ain't
taking the first step.
That's it. That's it. That's the mission. That's how you prioritize your mission, is to take the first step. That's it. Yep. So, all right, y'all, we are out of here.
Thank you for tuning in. You can catch us next week. We'll be back again, highlighting another awesome Black woman who, we haven't decided yet, but so that'll be interesting. But we'll be back highlighting another awesome Black woman, and giving you a little background on her history.
Yes, I'm excited. So, I can't wait till we decide on who we want to do, because I love honoring Black women. It's so fun. Yeah, it's empowering.
And like you said, we teachers,
history
teachers, spiritual teachers.
I love it. I love it. Like, I can't wait till we really start to dive into the conversation and really dive into spirituality, and really talk about just all those different things. I'm excited about that. So, all right, we'll catch y'all next time. This is pre-recorded, so we'll be able to try to respond back to comments in real time. But we'll see you next time.
All right.
Peace.